Udyr matchup tier graph today, inspired by a comment from Jesse Matthews 4165. Day one, asking for tier list of what forms to take against what champs. We're going to squash that bud real quick. We're going to go ahead and get this out there for you guys. As we jump in, two quick things. Number one, this is a tier graph. It is an opinion-driven video. Duh. I don't expect you to agree with everything I say. If you don't agree with anything, just keep scrolling. You can also just leave a comment. I read all my comments. I'd love to hear your perspective, where you disagree and why, and I would love to potentially challenge my perspective on how I play Udyr if you guys have something you'd like to share. If you dislike the video, it's going to hurt me more than it helps you. And then secondly, team comps are a thing. Obviously, against certain types of champions out there, jungle matchups, you're going to want to lean heavily into certain builds, but if the rest of the team needs a tank, don't play full glass cannon AP XYZ. Let's jump in. First one out of the gate here is Amumu. I usually lean tank into Amumu, and here's why. The more crowd control they've got on the enemy team, and the more reliable crowd control they've got, the worse building damage is. Tank Udyr, as I've also explained in other videos, beats most forms of other tank. Tank Udyr will out-sustain and out-damage Amumu, so if you just build Leandries and then go straight tank, you can completely negate and nullify an Amumu. Bel'Vith is actually a preferred hybrid champion for me, and here's why. Phase Rush is really good at helping you survive early invades, and Bel'Vith players, as we know and love to do that early Raptor invade on you level 1. In addition, you need to have enough points in Q and one-shot capability to bring them down. Bel'Vith can kill you as a tank very easily, and I think as Tiger, frankly, you're too one-dimensional. Like, it's very easy for a Bel'Vith to figure out how to just not get bursted. Hybrid is really the only build that I think gets you tanky enough and allows you to do enough damage to deal with a Bel'Vith, and unlike full AP, you're not a glass cannon, so you won't get exploded. Darius jungle got really popular in this last year. Darius is just another hybrid setup for me. Again, couple reasons why. Number one, you get phase rush, so it allows you to space him and kite him out if he does start running at you. In addition, a lot of Darius players take phase rush themselves, so if you don't go phase rush and he goes phase rush, you're a sitting duck. Additionally, you also need to have points in Q to be able to one-shot him, but you also want to have points in R to be able to space him. Hybrid is the perfect fit for a champ like Darius. Brand jungle is actually a full AP angle, and here's why. Brand is extremely immobile. He has no way of kiting and dealing with your Awaken R once it gets put on him, and eventually you just get enough damage to where you will kill this thing every single time he's on your screen. In addition, Brand's a hyper carry. If you build the same hyper carry items, Shadow Flame, Leandries, XYZ, you will do more damage than a Brand as AP Udyr. I love full AP into Brand jungle. Diana, you can really play whatever you want into Diana. Tiger works well, tank works well, but I think it's actually hybrid, and here's why. Phase Rush tends to run over most melee champions like Diana, Darius, Bel'Vith. I really think you cannot lose this matchup as long as you get to one or two items. Diana will never be able to get on your screen. I have a video somewhere on my YouTube of me stomping Sawyer jungle in a Grandmaster's lobby on his Diana, and it's not because Sawyer's a bad jungler, it's because hybrid Udyr literally is just so one-sided. It does not matter how fed the Diana gets, you will always kill her as hybrid Udyr. Ekko is actually a kind of tough one. I used to think hybrid was the way to go, but the more that I've been playing, and he's really popular right now because of the Lich Bane changes, I think your best bet is tank. If you just go Merc Treads, Kayn, Rookern, Ekko will never be able to kill you, and I have actually found just pressing Awaken W and trying to just tank mode him is the most effective way to deal with him, because if you think about it, he's kind of an AP assassin, and for the same reason most other assassins struggle against tank Udyr, Ekko is the exact same. He can never burst you once you get magic resist. Elise jungle is kind of the same story as Ekko. I really think Ekko and Elise suffer from the same issue. Once you get a single magic resist item, these two champions can never kill you. If you get magic resist boots, so Merc Treads plus Spirit Visage, Abyssal Mask, Kayn, Rookern, any of those super magic resist items, these two champions immediately cannot deal with you from second item onwards. I guess just rack up all the AP champions that can't deal with tank Udyr. Fiddlesticks is the next on my list, and the exact same story. Merc Treads, Kayn, Rookern. Fiddlesticks will never kill you. In addition, Udyr can bear stun and stop Fiddlesticks drain on demand. So Udyr in tank form literally makes a laughing stock of Fiddlesticks. It is one of your easiest forms. As a side note too, do not play any form of damage Udyr into Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks will just fear you and kill you over and over. Tank Udyr is a complete 180 though. You will dominate him. Gragas is hard no matter what form of Udyr you're playing, but I'm going to actually say hybrid Udyr, and here's why. I tend to find with Gragas players, they eventually mess up. So they like burn their flash or they dash when they shouldn't. You want to have the damage to be able to one-shot him in those moments, but you also need to be tanky enough to where he can't just bully you because he's very, very good against Udyr. I actually think Hybrid is really good into him for the same reason it's good into Bel'Vith. You get Phase Rush, you can one-shot him when he messes up, and you get a high enough health pool and sustainability to be able to team fight and kite him back in those defensive situations. Like I said at the start of this video, team comps get factored in when you think about a champion like Graves. You can always just play Liandry's or Lichbane Deadmans into Graves, and it's very, very effective. I actually, since this is my tier graph, I have had more success playing full AP into Graves than tank, and here's why. Once you get enough magic damage, he literally can never get near you, and he's got True Grit built in. So if you go out of your way to build something like Storm Surge, Shadow Flame, he will fall over every single time you press Awaken R on him. And again, I've had more success as full AP than tank. Both work extremely well, but full AP will also give you the ability to kill him, which I think is really, really fun. Gwen is really, really tough to decide between Hybrid or Tiger, but this is going to be the first one where I tell people to play Tiger. I don't think Hybrid gives you enough true one-shot ability like Tiger does with like lethality, Triforce, stuff like that. Gwen is very, very hard. Do not play tank into Gwen because she'll shred you. Full AP, she'll go immune, so you can't really lean into that. Hybrid is decent, but I have found in a lot of 1v1s, I don't actually have enough pumping power on my Q to one-shot her as Hybrid. I think you have to go straight Tiger into Gwen. And again, Gwen is a hyper carry. Tiger loves anti-carrying other hyper carries because it's a single target nuke. So Tiger, theoretically, if you rock, paper, scissors, is meant to kill somebody like Gwen. So for that reason alone, I'm going to go ahead and say Tiger's the best form against Gwen. Hecarim is one of the easiest matchups in the game for Udyr, and you really can play whatever you want. If you're asking me, though, and this is my video, Hybrid Udyr makes a laughing stock of Hecarim. You will one-shot him with Q whenever he's near you, and you've got your Awaken R to get 30% on-demand slow to kite him out, and you've got Phase Rush to run him down, and he's not faster than you. I think Hybrid truly is designed to kill somebody like Hecarim. I really do not like Ivern. Ivern kind of shuts down any form of damage Udyr. If you think about it, he's got shields, he's a support in the jungle, he's got good ganks, he puts Daisy on you and you're immobile so you can't get around Daisy. I personally think that Ivern you have to just go tank into and try and team fight. Ivern's going to be a supporting character. You might as well just soak a bunch of damage, and eventually you get to a point where your Awakened W is so large that Ivern cannot keep you away from him. So you eventually outscale the Ivern. It's just an extremely annoying matchup that I do think you should go tank into. Jarvin the 4th is extremely hard to place, and here's why. Full AP is an immediate no because of his cage. Do never, ever play full AP into Jarvin. Hybrid is really not that good because Phase Rush, he again has high mobility and he puts you in a cage so you can't run away from him. Tank, while you think it's good, if you go tank, literally if Jarvin just goes also like Sundered Sky tank, you two are going to be wet noodle hitting each other for the rest of the game. I actually think Jarvin is Stridebreaker Serpent's Fang. That is the best build that I have personally found to deal with Jarvin. Again, Stridebreaker plus Serpent's Fang. The Stridebreaker gives you sticking power, so when he tries to EQ away, you press your active and then you run towards him and he's slowed. And then you also get the Serpent's Fang to pop his shields, and then usually I just go tank third item onwards. Really effective. Jarvin is kind of a hard pick against Udyr, but I actually think Tiger's your best bet there. Against Jax, it's a very, very easy solution. Literally just go tank and build a Frozen Heart. He'll never kill you. Jax cannot deal with a Juggernaut like Udyr. You're too tanky for him. While he'll do a lot of damage, I promise if you get a Frozen Heart, he will literally never kill you because you're going to cut off the attack speed from his passive. Karthus jungle is going to go in the full AP category for the same reason Brand did. It's literally because Karthus is immobile. As the game goes on, you just press Awaken R whenever he's near you. He will get stuck inside and literally just evaporate in front of you. Karthus cannot deal with a full AP Udyr. Kayn is truly one of my least favorite junglers to play against because Kayn just has so many get out of jail free cards. I think for that reason, you have to go hybrid. You need a lot of versatility. You need to be able to one-shot him if he messes up, but you also need to press Awaken R if he starts team fighting, and I think you need to be tanky. You can't go full AP. Tiger is too one-dimensional. He'll just knock up and kite you out. Hybrid is kind of your only best bet because if he goes red Kayn into tank, you're going to get outclassed. Hybrid is truly the only build that I have found that is somewhat playable into a Kayn main matchup. Kha'Zix is going to go in the tank category. If you go Liandry's or Lichbane into Deadman's, he will never be able to deal with you. Kha'Zix, you can also try full AP into, but then he'll one-shot you because he's designed to kill, immobile glass cannon melees. I think Kha'Zix struggles extremely hard in the tank Udyr, and as soon as you get enough armor to cut off his lethality, he really can't effectively deal with you. Kindred is giga annoying, but I'm about to give you guys a cheat code. If you've never done this, you just need to try it. Play full AP into Kindred, build Zhonya's second item, and every single time she presses her R, run inside of it, wait for it to run out, press your Awaken R, and then press Zhonya's. You will kill everybody. It is hilarious, and the more damage you build, the more unstoppable you become. You can completely just counter her entire kit. It is hilarious. I literally have never lost this matchup as full AP, I don't think, ever. Against Lee Sin, I actually prefer Tiger, and here's why. Tank is good against Lee Sin because obviously you get tanky, he won't be able to kill you, you outscale him. You can kind of do the same as Tiger. If you get, a couple of damage items, let's say Triforce Serpent's Fang, and then full tank, very similar to this tank, the difference is you will one-shot him, and you'll be able to have crazy dueling power in the early to mid game to kind of fight him with, and then you'll scale into a frontline presence alongside him. I think your job as Udyr is to kind of mirror the enemy champion you're playing against and kind of rock, paper, scissors it. Tiger is very effective against Lee Sin, and even though tank is very good and scales better, I do think you want to be stronger at the points in the game where Lee Sin is strong. Lillia is very hard for a lot of people that don't know Udyr that well. If you play hybrid Udyr with Phase Rush, Points and Q, Spear of Surgeon first, she will literally get deleted. A thing against Lillia you need to know, though, is at level 6, you need to use your Awaken E, not your Q. If you don't Awaken E her ult, she'll just kill you immediately. As the game goes on, you eventually get enough health and resistances to where it's not an issue, but hybrid Udyr in particular makes a laughing stock of Lillia. You really shouldn't lose this matchup ever once you figure out how to play hybrid. Mr. Yi, if you've ever been on my stream, you've heard me say, please just play Q-Max AD Udyr into Master Yi. It is laughably one-sided. Unless the rest of the team has a way to enable the Master Yi, you will one-shot him every single time he gets in melee range of you. Master Yi players hate playing against Tiger Udyrs. I guess Morgana is listed as a jungler now. Full AP is actually the best way to play into Morgana. Here's why. She's immobile. You're going to say she's got a spell shield, and then you remember that as full AP Udyr, you can burn that spell shield instantly at 2 items onward. She will get stuck inside of your Awaken R. You'll burn her magic shield every single time she's near you, and you can always just Awaken E the snare if she gets close to you. Nidalee is hilarious. Just go hybrid, take Phase Rush, put points in Q. Once you get Spear chosen, you'll one-shot her, you outscale her, you've got better frontline presence. Truly, she should never, if you lose a game to Nidalee as hybrid Udyr, kind of like Lillia, you need to go back to Udyr boot camp and play in some normals for a little bit because this is such a one-sided matchup. Nocturne gets a special shout out to full AP because you can absolutely just build a Zhonya's and full AP every single time he ults your carry and you will kill him instantly. I think against Nocturne, though, tank is your best bet. Deadman's Plate is extremely effective against him, and your job against Nocturne is to peel whoever he jumps on with his ult. So if you build Frozen Heart, Armor Boots, you can make his life very, 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 very hard, and you can take him out of the game. Out of Nunu players ever since Pentalus hit rank 1, but Nunu is a hybrid angle because you get Phase Rush, you'll be able to one-shot him. In addition, you get a lot of clear speed and objective clear speed with your Phase Rush and the build that you go on hybrid, so it allows you to run down Nunu and out-tempo him and burn objectives before you can get there. So we love hybrid Udyr into champions that are very, very kite heavy like Nunu. Pantheon is 100% a tank angle, and here's why. Pantheon has a crazy mechanic, the shield block thing. He will block your Tiger lightning bolts if he knows what he's doing. He'll wait for you to press Awaken Q, and then he'll block all of it. Additionally, with full AP, you're too squishy. He'll have too high of a health pool. He'll jump on you and kill you. Hybrid Udyr, while you might think it's good, all you're going to be doing is literally just running around waiting for him to just give you an opening, and it's going to feel super clunky. As tank, if you just press Awaken W and just bear stun and stand on top of him, he will have the hardest time dealing with you. You do need to get to a couple items to be effective, though, but at 2 items onwards, as tank Udyr, Pantheon gets outscaled. Poppy jungle is just another tank angle. It's kind of how it goes here. Poppy is one of those champions that, again, is a very big bully to a lot of melee characters that can get stunned into walls. She has big shields. If you don't go tank, she will just take take you out of the game as any form of damage, Udyr. Rek'Sai is kind of a Nocturne Pantheon treatment where you have to respect him and you have to take account for the fact that if you go tank and you build Deadmans, your job most of the game is just peeling whoever Rek'Sai jumps on. Once you get tanky enough, you can make his life very, 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 very hard as tank Udyr. If y'all want to laugh, you should see some of these games I've played against scrub noobs through the years. Tiger Udyr absolutely dumpsters a Renagar player. Here's the formula. You do death stance and armor boots. So I usually do spear shows death stance armor boots. He will never kill you because you've got too much armor. Renagar similar to the Master Yi matchup where like you will just one-shot him. It is hilarious. I have never ever lost to a Renagar pending my teammates don't just feed him 15 kills for free. Rumble jungle, I'm actually going to put as a full AP. Again, I thought about all 4 forms here. You can play hybrid, but he'll one-shot you until you get tanky, which means, yeah, you can just go tank, but that's really not very fun. And I truly think that full AP is not only effective against Rumble, but it takes him out of the game. And I have won so many times. You just press Awaken R on him. He can't get near you. He's immobile. The same reason Brand and Karthus can't deal with you, Rumble can't for the same reason as full AP. Against the super tanks of the world, I actually think your best bet is just fire with fire. Udyr, again, is kind of this juggernaut classification where he's not necessarily a super tank, but he beats other tanks in 1v1s, right? So if you go the tank form, not only will you be able to deal with Sejuani and sustain tanker, but you can also just be more effective than her, do double her damage while being just as tanky. Shaco, you can either go tank or full AP, but again, for kind of, it's just hilarious. If you've never had the courage to play full AP into Shaco, I am begging you, just play full AP. Here's why. You get to press Awaken R. You never have to guess which the clone is. You never have to get near his boxes. You can Awaken E if he jumps on you and he'll never kill you. Your turtle shield becomes massive, so if he tries to assassinate you, he can't. It is truly a hilarious matchup, and if you fall behind, just get Azonias, and again, you will completely take him out of the game. I think full AP is hilariously broken into Shaco. Shyvana, for me, is a very easy hybrid angle for a couple reasons. So number one, Shyvana is a tempo, objective, clear speed jungler. You really want to be doing that as well as Udyr, and you need to be building damage in your first 2 item slots. In addition, the phase rush allows you to deal with all of her kite, slowing on her W and everything else. While you can play any of these forms into Shyvana and you'll probably be okay, I think hybrid Udyr personally is just the best in slot against her. Skarner is going to get the Sejuani treatment where I don't think you have the luxury of building any damage item except the first one, which is probably going to be Leandri, and then you're going to have to go full tank. Skarner has too much crowd control. He'll take you out of the game as any form of damage Udyr. In addition, if you don't go tank, it's kind of really, really awkward if he pulls ahead. If you go tank, you will not only be as tanky as him, but you will also do double his damage. Eyeless jungle, you could go a couple different directions here, but again, hybrid to me is just super, super solid against these melee bruisers where you need to both be able to chase them if you've got lightning Q up, but run away if they jump on you. Phase rush and the health pool that hybrid affords you allows you to do that. I think Tiger, you're too squishy. In addition, Sylas can just straight up outduel you until you get item spike, and even then it's pretty close. I think hybrid is probably just your best bet in this matchup. Talia jungle is actually a Tiger angle, and you're gonna build Stridebreaker. Here's why. Talia truly is one of the squishiest mages in the game, and she's kind of like a mid-range pokey mage. And you're gonna say, yeah, aren't you running in a straight line into her as Udyr? Yes, but if you go Tiger and you get, let's say, Merc Treads, Maul Mortis, and a Stridebreaker, you will one-shot her every time she gets near you, and since she's playing like that, it's really, really easy to do. Side note about Talia, though, her rock field, if you try and stun her, your bear stun counts as a dash. You will stun yourself as well. Don't do that. Literally, all you have to do is just wait for her to dance with you, see the cooldowns, run around the cooldowns, and kill her. It is hilarious. Alan, to me, is very similar to like Kha'Zix and these other champions, Nocturne XYZ. He will be jumping on your carries non-stop, and your job will be to peel him. I think his tank Udyr, Leandri's, or Lichbane into Deadman's is extremely effective into town, and it's one of your best 1-2 items. On Udyr anyways, I think tank Udyr is just freelo against Talon as long as you don't die to early invades. That's the big caveat. Expect some invades early game, expect some nonsense early game. If you can be smart enough to get around it, you will instantly outscale him once you start building armor. Vi is so unfortunate because it used to be a Tiger matchup, but I actually think Vi is kind of turned into a frontline bruiser in the same way Udyr has. Tank is your best bet against Vi. I think that Vi is extremely good and strong against full AP Tiger hybrid. She's got a lot of point and click ults, knockbacks, CC, stuns, damage. You have to have a high health pool and you have to be able to peel her. And I think if you do anything except tank, you're going to have a lot of issues. Most people into Viego will either A, ban him because he's pretty good against Udyr, or B, play Tiger. I actually think they haven't discovered Hybrid. Hybrid is extremely good against Viego because Viego is tough for tank because he'll shred tank and he'll reset and you'll never get a chance to actually kill him. It's Tiger, again, he's very mobile and he'll get around. As Hybrid, you've got Phase. You have the luxury of pressing Awaken Q if he does happen to mess up and get near you. If he never does that and doesn't mess up, you can Awaken R as well and just slow him from afar. I think Hybrid's probably the best build into Viego. Volibear is quite difficult to say where to pick, but for me, I think it's going to be a hybrid angle. I actually think Udyr is just weaker than Volibear up until about level 13, and then level 13 onwards is hybrid. He should never be able to 1v1 you, especially if somebody on your team has anti-heal and Serpent's Fang. Volibear is just tricky, and I think taking Phase Rush is really important in this matchup because Volibear and Udyr are like literally super similar, and whichever one pulls ahead will start stat checking the other. To me, I like hybrid because it gives you that offensive defensive flexibility that Phase Rush gives you, or when you're ahead you get to run him down. When you're behind, you get a huge movement speed proc to get away from him, and as Conqueror or other like press the attack, full AP Udyr, whatever, you can kind of get stuck and he'll just run you over. Warwick, I prefer hybrid, but it's not because I think hybrid goes toe to toe with Warwick or anything like that. I think it's because you need to have a huge lightning Q on demand execute for somebody like Warwick. Now, as the game goes on, if you build tank, eventually he will out sustain tank you, and if you build full AP, he'll just one shot you because he's Warwick, and if you build Tiger, he will actually outduel you. I think hybrid's the best because you can always Awaken R space him, and if he does happen to get low on health and your Awakening's up, you've got the luxury of pressing your Awaken Q and killing him before the insane lifesteal kicks in. Xin Zhao is really tough for certain forms of Udyr, but I think as I've played this matchup more and more, Xin Zhao cannot deal with tank Udyr once you get Deadmans and start building armor. It's a very rough early to mid game, and I think that where I've been struggling in this matchup is you're not supposed to build damage second item onwards against Xin Zhao. He is literally designed to kill, kind of like Kha'Zix. He kills glass cannon melees. If you go tank, similar to Vi, I think you'll just be a more effective champion than Xin Zhao, and you can reliably outscale him as tank Udyr. Back is really tough to decide between tank or hybrid. This is my tier graph, so you might disagree. I personally think, thinking about all the Zac games I've played in the last year, there have been a lot of moments as tank where I literally cannot kill his blobs when he explodes. I don't have the damage to bring him down before his E comes back up. There's a lot of things why I think tank is actually not. I mean, yeah, you're still a tank against a tank, but you're kind of wet noodles. Hybrid allows you to actually kill him in those really nice moments, and once you finish Riftmaker, you can actually out-sustain the Zac as well. I think hybrid is going to be what I recommend to people in this matchup. For Zed, I think, you can go Tiger, and I'll tell you, Tiger Udyr will like one shot at Zed, same with hybrid Udyr. But tank is just going to be what I have to recommend to you, because as soon as you get Deadman's Plate, second item onwards, he'll never kill you, have enough mobility to stick on him, and to me, it is a free matchup as long as you can make it to second item onwards. For Briar, you can either go tank or hybrid, but very similar to Warwick. Briar is a champion that you both want to be able to kite out with your R and Phase Rush, but if he does mess up, you want to be able to execute him before he or she, I think it's a she, I don't know, before it life steals to full. To me, hybrid gives you the luxury of being able to do both. Evelyn, you can play a lot into, but frankly, tank Udyr is hilarious into Evelyn. I would encourage you guys to do Lichbane, Deadman's, Kayn, Rooker, and Merktreads into a Evelyn, as long as the rest of the team comes fine for it. It will be faster than her, she'll never be able to kill you, and frankly, it's going to be extremely unfun for her, and you will make a laughing stock of her, and she'll start thinking about banning Udyr for the next 100 games because of how unfun it was. Rammus, you can play tank into for the same reason you play Sejuani and Skarner, but what I find with Rammus is he only has that point and click taunt for one person. I actually think full AP is the best against Rammus because you will completely fry him no matter how much magic resist he builds, as long as you get a void staff or something. In addition, Rammus wants to build armor, so if you just go full AP, you're gonna force him to build items he doesn't want to build, and frankly, he has an extremely hard time getting out of your Awaken R after he's already engaged. For Satan, I mean Teemo jungle, What you're going to do is full AP, very similar to the brand Karthus and Rumble. Teemo gets completely stuck inside your Awaken R. He has no gap closure to get out. And frankly, as the game progresses, he's just stays as squishy as he usually is, so you will completely delete him. You will force him to build a Wit's End or something silly, and he'll waste gold and never be as effective as you. Trundle jungle, you know, you might say Tiger, but in my experience, Trundle actually will just outduel you. I think you got to go hybrid, very similar to Warwick and Briar in the sense that you need to have points in R and Phase Rush to kite him if he's got that, you know, ult on you and he wants to chase you, but you also need to have your Lightning Q ready if he gets low on health, and you need to finish him off quickly and not allow him to lifesteal to full. I think hybrid's your best bet. Trundle is very annoying, but I do think, again, you get to a couple items and this matchup becomes very easy as hybrid Udyr. And then last but not least, let me know if I missed anybody, is Wukong jungle. And Wukong, very similar to Shaco, is going to go in the full AP category, and here's why. The Wukong clone, you will never have to guess which is the real one. Wukong wants to run in, clump people, and knock them up, right? And he's also got built-in armor a la Stone Skin in his kit. If you build magic damage and you press Awaken R every single time he gets near you, it is going to be hilarious. He will die immediately. He'll never be able to engage, and he's going to feel super pressured to kill you, which is going to force him to jump super far on top of you, and then you just Awaken R, run away with Phase Rush or whatever, and he'll never be able to deal with you. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the final matchup Udyr tier graph. If I missed anybody, let me know, and I will respond in the comment section with whatever the updated information is. But again, as this is my video, as long as you guys want to know my opinion, I hit Grandmasters this season. I'm a Challenger 15-year Udyr player, right? So, like, if you haven't been to Grandmasters, there may be a perspective in here you might appreciate. And if you do disagree in any way, just let me know. Hit the comment button and let me know what you think, and I will read your comments and hopefully go from there. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!
Dang! Call me so I can make it juicy for ya.